Hello everyone, welcome to the Shuttlecast. I'm Josiah.
I'm Sal.
I'm Nathan.
And we're going to talk about the 9th installment of the DC Extended Universe. That's what it's called.
I like how you started off with that.
Wonder Woman 1984, that was just released on HBO Max and simultaneously in some theaters, you know? So,
Yeah.
And we had the privilege of watching this on HBO Max. So we I think we all kind of like the platform and we want it to succeed. Yeah. So regardless of what we say today, positive or negative, go HBO Max, right?
Yeah. Let me. First off, is this a Shuttlecast? Do we have other shit on
This is a Shuttlecast.
Oh, okay.
This is all audio, baby.
Oh, is that the difference between?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought okay.
So.
Because Escape Pod is a video.
I don't come to the. I don't.
Shuttlecast
come to the board meetings. So
we have now officially rebranded, my friend.
Oh, okay.
And we are primarily the Shuttlecast.
Yes.
Oh,
but if we do a video, it's the Escape Pod.
Yeah.
Oh, I always thought our original differentiation was Shuttlecast is kind of just like a stream of consciousness.
That was.
Okay.
And now we changed it.
Well, yeah. Now we're still like figuring it out, but I still think that videos that are pure stream of consciousness can just be called Shuttlecasts. It's just a Shuttlecast from Shuttlecast.
Okay,
that makes sense.
All right.
Or we just called Shuttlecast. Anyway,
that's what I meant.
Anyway.
But this movie, Wonder Woman 1984, has been pretty, I'll say highly anticipated, if for nothing, the fact that Wonder Woman of 2017, the first one, is considered by many to be at least the second best of the DC Extended Universe. Like most, I'm saying most people agree that it's the best, but there's some people who are like, oh, like Shazam is better.
There are those people.
And then there's those weird people who are like Aquaman's better, and I'm like, I can't agree with you there. But
I keep seeing memes that say that Shazam, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman are like the three good DC movies, and all the rest are bad. I'm like, I agree with Wonder Woman.
It's
Shazam's good.
Shazam's good.
I need to see it again. I was a little
and I saw it sober. It was great.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Though to be fair, though, after this podcast, someone's gonna want to trust my judgment.
Hey, that's not true.
Hey, listen,
Bubba. We both touched his knees at the same time.
By the way, we're on a couch and I'm in the middle
because we're all friends.
Everyone's taller than me.
Hey, listen. When we're just casually talking about shit, do we all go, all right, group meeting at the table? No, because you got wooden chairs.
It's typically
folding chair.
Me standing in the kitchen screaming.
We're just trying.
It is, but
and someone half in the hallway trying to leave, but they never will.
Listen, we're just trying to set up and establish an environment of trust. That's what this is about.
Okay.
Because if we all, I think it's important to learn from one's history. And
staring at me.
It's important to learn from one's history. So on our Shuttlecast Escape Pod oeuvre, we have not really covered that many DC films post Batman v Superman.
We had a gigantic discussion about Batman v Superman, which I have yet to ever re-listen to because of...
I've re-listened to it once.
Non-flashbacks I will receive.
Yeah.
But in summary, I was more positive to the film.
And I would argue that's one of our better discussions where you're the positive one and we're the negatives.
Yeah, this happens a lot.
It does tend to happen.
It's okay.
So, I mean, listen, DC is an interesting place where they're kind of winning people back over, but you still have those diehards who are at Marvel who say that DC can't make a good film. That's not me. Well, first of all, I'm not a Marvel diehard defender, first of all. But second of all, DC can make good movies. They've proven it. Have they made better movies that aren't tied to the cinematic universe, like Joker? Yeah. But, this one was kind of interesting because it's like, okay, the first movie was good.
Yeah.
Can they follow it up since it's mostly the same creative team?
Yeah.
I will go into who the differences are as far as the creative team goes. We got Patty Jenkins back, and she did a great job with the first movie.
She did. Yeah, So we watched it all together, 84.
Yeah.
I was quite sauced. Did not retain. Missed a lot of information. But this past weekend, I watched the first and second back to back with my girlfriend, and got a lot more insight, a much fuller picture of the whole Wonder Woman.
You saw all the scenes this time?
I did. Well, we were also like planning a trip at the same time, so I missed a couple scenes, but mostly the same scenes that I missed the first time. So I would say I've seen this movie somewhere between 0.9 and 1.5 times. So
amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
But you rewatched the first one, which I haven't done recently. So
Yeah.
you're technically the most up on.
I did it a few months ago.
Yeah.
It's semi still in my brain.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was telling Joe this before, because I have to say, unfortunately for 84, I watched the first one right before it, and so I had a little more grip on continuity things that I didn't catch the first time.
Right.
So the first thing, when watching it the second time, that I immediately questioned, the film opens with
Spoilers, by the way.
spoilers. By the way, we're actually
We're
going
gonna
to
spoil everything, so leave now if you don't want that.
Yeah. So the film opens with a flashback to childhood Diana doing super ultra Amazon Olympics.
Themyscira Ninja Warrior, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I distinctly remember now, having just rewatched it in the first movie, that she doesn't get any training, combat or otherwise, until she's like a teenager, and very much against her mother's wishes.
That's right.
And so to see her there as a child, and her mom like up on the podium going like, she's gonna do so good, when like the one time we see her observing her training in the first movie, she's like, what have I done? I'm like,
because there's that bit where she's running through the city and then jumps, and then her mom catches her because she's like, what are you doing out running around?
Like somewhere. So that I was like, why is that okay?
I forget how it goes in the first movie.
No,
Yeah,
I think Nathan is right. I had forgotten about.
Well, because I forgot. I remembered it as
there's also a problem of that film was probably shot in like 2016.
Yeah.
And also like that they got the same chick who played her when she was young. So it could be that now that actress has gotten older, she is at the right age, but
she doesn't look that different. Though.
She doesn't look that different. I don't know.
Yeah, because
that's weird.
Because when I was remembering the first movie,
I can't defend or accept this because I forget the film. But
yeah, because when I was remembering the first movie, I was like, oh, there's grown up and then there's child. I forgot there's teen.
There is
Diana
teen.
That
Yeah.
Forget about that.
Yeah, because we see that she's like secretly training with Antiope, and then she gets caught by her mom as that teenager.
Right.
Who's like, the fuck are you doing? And so that was the first, and and some of the physics things that they introduce in that flashback. And I was like, that would have been useful in the first movie.
See, I had forgotten that, but I think watching this scene, because they uploaded the first like 3 minutes of the movie to YouTube, it basically ends right when she starts running. So I had seen that, and I'm like, okay, like, how is this as the opening scene going to tie into the rest of the movie? So before I had seen this, I was like wondering about, are we going to get multiple flashbacks to the past? Are they going to make this another thing that ties in the whole narrative? But they don't. It's just for the first scene. And I'm going to be honest, like, I get why it's here. I totally understand for the theme why it's here. But it's also, in my opinion, not exactly necessary.
I think the film would be stronger without it, but
I think they just were like, hey, you know what everyone loves is
Themyscira.
Yeah, that's what.
And they love Robin Wright.
And Robin Wright gets like top billing for being just this scene.
One scene. Yeah. So it was almost like it was a contractual thing. Like, we have to put Robin Wright in here, and
yeah, because what the scene was trying to say, which is don't take the short path, you have to work for something to get it, is a thing that could have been incorporated into a different scene in the movie later on.
Yeah.
Or even like the next scene, which is the bank, or not the bank heist, but the mall heist.
Yeah.
Could have been reworked to be in that, but like to have like this is like a 5-7 minute scene just to say,
yeah,
don't take the short path, Diana.
Yeah.
Again, the scene, I think the scene should either be drastically shorter or it just shouldn't be there and you incorporate it some other way. Because, again, watching the movie, I watched this first scene and I wasn't like, this is bad. I was just kind of like, well, that's unnecessary, but I'm willing to just kind of give it to you and then move forward.
This scene only makes sense in the sense of if this was going to come out in theaters and people were going to walk in still in the first 5 minutes, still grabbing popcorn and stuff.
Oh, that's a good point.
You walk in and go, oh shit, the movie, cool, they're doing stuff.
That's why they wait until the end of that scene to go, oh, what's that? Points at the golden armor with the wings. Oh, it's the armor of the legendary battle goddess Asteria that we've always been talking about and incorporating in our society.
Yeah, that.
Oh, I hope. Yeah.
Like again,
see, because another problem with that scene is that they do that where they're like, oh, look, Asteria, and I'm like, why wasn't that in the first movie? Whereas when later on, Diana's like, oh, it's from my culture, this warrior Asteria. I'm like, oh, that makes more sense because, like, that's just a legend we haven't heard about before. Whereas, like, now it's like, what is it? What is this? The Assyrian Games or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, is this like no one ever?
And it's not even like in, say, Thor, where they show the Infinity Gauntlet in the vault for like half a second. It's like, well, you technically had that set up in an earlier movie. Yeah. You know, if the first movie had a scene where they like pan by and you see the armor, I'd have been like, okay, well, that's fine because you technically had a reference to that. But this does feel, I'm very curious what the goal is with the Asteria plot. Well, okay.
It serves two purposes. That's all it's there for. Well, three.
Talk about
it serves three things.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I can do it right now.
Well, it involves the post-credit scene too. So.
Yeah. Well, it's a mid-credit.
Yeah, it's the mid-credits scene.
Yeah.
It sets up three things. Let me talk about it real quick.
Go.
So it sets up in that scene where it's first introduced, not the stupid Olympic Games thing, but in the first scene it's introduced, it shows that the lasso of truth not only compels you to tell the truth, but shows you the truth, which leads into the climax. Mm-hmm. It shows that she has the armor, which leads into why she has into her amped up Mo when she goes into the final battle. And then it serves to do the post-credit scene. Yeah. Yeah. It's so it does have the armor's fine.
No, the armor's fine.
It's just that first scene, and I read this online where like Warner Brothers wanted to either cut the first scene or the mall scene.
Cut the first scene.
Yeah, but Patty Jenkins wanted both.
Listen, we get so little Wonder Woman in this movie as it is, like her in the full outfit, that you can't cut the mall scene.
Yeah,
regardless of how.
Because the mall scene actually sets up the plot.
Yeah, it sets up the plot, and regardless of of elements of the mall scene that I feel work or don't work, you got to keep that in for story reasons. You don't have to keep in this first scene. Yeah, this first scene, as it is cool, it's cool, but like it's not. But you have to like cut that for time because it's a 2.5 hour movie. Yeah, it's very long. And this first scene, all it says is "Don't take the short path, Diana," and it's like, okay, yeah, that could have been anywhere else and it would have been fine. Yeah. So we're all kind of in agreement then on the first scene. Yeah. The first scene is like, it's cool. I have fun when I'm watching it.
I love Themyscira.
I like young Diana. I like Robin Wright. Yeah. It's cool. It doesn't have to be there. I think they should just give Robin Wright her own movie at this point. Yeah. You know? Honestly.
Get that prequel going. Tie-up-y.
Yeah. So first scene,
and then we're in 1984, and it's groovy. There's a crippling shortage of Wonder Woman theme.
It was like, and when it's there, like the Egyptian highway chase.
Yeah, it's there, and when it's there, they don't use the guitar.
I also forgot that they did the Iron Man 2 thing where Cheetah gets evil Wonder Woman theme, and it's
That's really
when she's beating the shit out of John Moxley, like with each kick it does like a dramatic.
So when he says John Moxley, he means the drunk hobo who hits on Barbara.
He looks
and the joke is, look up John Moxley. Yeah, and watch how he moves and how he talks.
Imagine him in like Trump's toupee. You got the drunk guy perfectly.
That lines up.
I'm sorry, John.
Yeah.
But
I do like when a movie reuses or anything reuses the theme for different things.
Oh, absolutely.
Like we're watching through Hill House and they do the sad version of the theme. It's so funny.
No, leitmotifs are great, and even though all like Wonder Woman, Batman v Superman, and this all have different composers technically.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer worked on Batman v Superman, and he's doing this now. But yeah, the Wonder Woman theme was not in this very much.
Yeah.
And I get why in the first Wonder Woman, it's not the full guitar theme because it's like she's becoming Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And based on the tone of the film, it's like, well, it's more of a classical period piece film, so we can't have like the guitar Wonder Woman theme. So it made sense. But now that it's in the 80s, it's like, well, come on. Give us a little bit, aren't you?
Yeah. Groovy bass guitar Wonder Woman theme, please.
Yeah.
But so we're in 1984.
We're in the mall,
and there are people jogging, it's great because we're keeping continuity with Justice League, where she doesn't just fuck off and do nothing between Wonder Woman and Justice League. People just don't see her when she saves people in the middle of the mall.
Here's what I'll say.
Hey, she hits the cameras.
She does. She has the boomerang.
All right. Now I gotta start talking about this.
And I want to say this is me, lightly. It's not an actual criticism.
I do want to know it. What do you want to say?
I'm saying there's two approaches, and part of it might be what you take. So the first thing is, at this point, I can't base any continuity errors with the theatrical version of Justice League anymore. Because for all I know, Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to go, remember in 1984 when Wonder Woman helped out? And it's like, oh, wait, that wasn't in theatrical. Yeah, that's not canon. So
we have a new scene shot where Bruce Wayne talks about trying to make cloaking technology for his jet because of Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah, because isn't it Aquaman? Isn't Jason Momoa who was like, our film Aquaman is based off the Snyder cut?
I think him and Patty Jenkins are both like, nobody considers Joss Whedon's Justice League canon anymore. It's like, God.
So we can't quite talk. I mean,
but
we can say it and say this could be a problem.
Yeah, but
it could be.
But then my argument would then be, then why even have her destroying the cameras? Because you have the perfect out of saying, well, that version isn't canon anymore.
I mean, they could. It depends on if that scene with Batfleck and Wonder Woman is a Whedon shot or a Snyder shot.
I know. My thing is just that for
probably a Whedon shot. The whole movie.
I get that there's no evidence of her on the cameras, but there's so many witnesses.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to say.
Who remembers that?
So one reason why I really like this movie, and we've said it, I like this movie. Weight's off my shoulders. Is that this feels like it's trying to be like an 80s Sam Raimi, cheesy, fun, hopeful superhero movie. And that's the vibe I get. Yeah. And so a lot of things, I kind of, when I watch this movie, I work in that logic of it works because it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Now, like, you can argue and say, well, Sal, that's not very, like, logical of you. And yeah, I admit, sure, whatever. But, like, the tone of this movie, how I view it, and how it feels very much like the reason why everyone saw her save everybody. Now, because this is a hopeful film, we say that, everyone just kept quiet because that's what we do, because we're nice people. It's that scene in Spider-Man 2 where it's like,
see,
they all help Peter Parker on the train.
I would agree with you, but later there's news broadcasts about it.
Well, I was going to say...
No, what do you mean by that?
There's a scene where they're like, there's reports of this woman who helped all these people out, so obviously someone talked.
Yeah, but like, they're not saying like, but there's no like video evidence, there's no photos.
Well, nobody has cell phones.
Yeah, precisely.
But my point is like, they didn't keep quiet.
But they didn't say like, this superhuman crazy person who flew around with like a lasso and this.
Yeah, I don't.
Let me get a sketch artist to draw.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have someone going like, I will describe her in detail so we can find her.
Yeah,
because
because someone obviously saved them. It didn't just happen out of nowhere. So they say, someone saved us.
Yeah,
because it's a hopeful, cheesy film. They keep quiet about who and what she looks like.
Yeah, I can't really base it off of Justice League. My thing would just be like, I would prefer if you just cut it so she didn't destroy the cameras and nobody cared.
Based on the...
but it's whatever.
Based on the end of the movie, I think it is very fair to say that this movie operates under the basic assumption that everyone is mostly a good person.
Yes.
Because that becomes a big plot point. Yes.
And also, if she didn't destroy the cameras, you'd have the question of, people would have seen if there was probably video cameras.
Yeah. So it starts. So she's doing a series of good deeds, helping people. She stops these guys riding.
Oh yeah, it's opening scene,
fast and everything, and like all this kind of shit. And then we get like this mall heist with this one old man and a couple of beta male cucks, and it's
some great haircuts.
Some great haircuts.
Wow.
And the old man is doing pretty good. Like he's like in control. He's like, hey, listen, we're here to rob the place, but we know we've got like a black market shit going on, so we're here for that. I don't give a shit about mall things. And then like one of the beta male cucks drops his gun and someone screams, and he does not handle it very well at all. It fucks everything up.
Well, she screams gun and everyone fucking scatters. He's like, no, wait, no, please stop. No, do you? And everyone's already just gone and screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then cops arrive, and then this guy who, like,
yeah, what's wrong with this dude?
You're gonna be in trouble if you have a gun in a mall, especially if it is probably stolen, like his probably is.
And he just robbed a place.
But you know what's they didn't successfully get the robbery underway yet. They had only just started. But so that's gonna get you in a lot of trouble. But you know what's gonna get you in a lot more trouble? Grabbing a child, saying, I'm not going back, and holding her over a railing.
But Nathan, he can't go back.
He's going
to go back worse, and in fact does.
People do drastic things in situations, and obviously he was already nervous, already out of sorts, not quite right in the head.
I also just like how the mall cops have guns, and it's like, that's not...
Hey, it was the 80s, it was a different time. You know?
They're all coked out.
This is pre 9/11. Remember that. the world was a very different place before 9/11.
Yeah, this was a ma and pa mall.
No, it wasn't.
Well, so Wonder Woman comes and saves the day. We get a great shot of her being inspirational to the little black girl before she beats up evil old white man.
It's true. At least the white guy didn't grab the black girl.
Exactly.
That would have been. Yeah, that would have been way too.
Yeah.
Work.
And it was funny because the one overweight guy was trying to run up the escalator as it was trying to go down.
It was a commendable effort.
I understand.
Good Stairmaster.
Yeah.
I understand that the tone of this is supposed to be that cheesy. Again, I can see the attempts to be like Sam Raimi. It still felt like really crazy.
I think what it was is like you have like a Sam Raimi roller coaster, and it's like being on a wavelength where it's like, oh, really good. I think Wonder Woman 84 rides it similarly, but every now and then there's some peaking. Like,
this is the Sam Raimi channel, but you're not quite on it yet, so it's kind of sad, a little bit.
My point is like
you can tell it's supposed to be.
The thing is that tonally we never really reach this level of wackiness again. Like this kind of comedy hour guy gets sent through the drum spinning. Kind of comic relief, and
every Steve Trevor scene.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that, but and some cheetah bits, but I would say like, it was kind of
Get used to it.
So yeah, I would say overall, we're getting a fairly good opening for Wonder Woman. It's not exactly working for me, but I'm like, hey, you're using the lasso because now she's abandoned using the sword and lethal methods. She's now heroic and doesn't try to kill people.
Yeah, this whole film she's like making sure to not kill anybody. It's very good.
Yeah, very very much so.
I think the scene does work for me. I'm opposed to what you just said. I think it's really fun. I think it's a good reestablishing of the character. I mean, I know that Justice League isn't quite, canon is unsure with that movie, but there's attempts to say, hey, there's reasons why, like, there's no evidence of like, oh, hey, Wonder Woman did this. You know what I mean?
I think it's weirdly trying to ride that line of like early Mandalorian, where it's like this could be canon to Justice League, or it could not be based on who's watching and what you like. And it's like, well, I get that.
I think it's fun. It sets up like where the character is right now. It sets up also the main plot of the whole fucking movie.
I'm totally wrong. We've messed up. It's Batman v Superman that also says that she hasn't been doing anything.
Yeah.
So they did have to. To keep that canon, they had to have her destroying cameras.
I don't think there's line of dialogue though. It's just heavily implied because they don't know who the fuck she is.
Yeah.
It's implied she never wore the Wonder Woman outfit since the war.
Yeah, that's
because he's like, oh, she's wearing this outfit in this photograph, but now she's just looking like a socialite and out and about. So it's implied that she has.
That's kind of Diana Prince's like day job, anyways. She's this like Like,
I know.
Yeah.
But just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. But I think I'm actually a little bit more in the middle of you two. Like I kind of mostly agree with Sal that I think it was riding that line pretty well. There was just some peeking here and there, like obvious. Oh, she's a hero to little girls everywhere. Like I was like, that's too on the nose.
That was a bit on the nose.
And the guy getting blasted through the drum felt almost a little too slapsticky. Like I think I needed another step or two of goofiness.
I'm willing to accept that this movie is going to be a bit wackier. I must say that it is jarring when you compare it to the first movie. That's what I'll say.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'll say.
Yeah, and also I mean it helps that it's like 60 years into the future.
Yeah,
from the first film.
I acknowledge that.
Yeah,
yeah.
So times are a changing.
Yeah. So basically,
Watchmen, DC, Zack Snyder. Go on.
It's really good. So I have a message to all our lady viewers out there. As it turns out, if you are a beautiful woman but you're wearing glasses, no one's gonna notice, and you're basically invisible. But as soon as you take them off, it's like a whole new person. And I'm not saying we've never seen that in cinema before.
Oh, we've seen it.
No,
we've seen it. Too much cinema.
No,
you should
listen,
stop.
The second I saw Barbara show up, I'm like, I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
This is where we get into that Batman Returns, Batman Forever. What's another example? Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Incredibles.
Yeah.
This trope of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Electro. It's
Harley Quinn. In anything.
Yeah. But you know, I'm just kind of tired of this.
I'm very exhausted.
I'm not a fan of the whole they're a nerd who, because they interact with the hero, they develop a grudge because the hero is better than them.
Yeah. Well, because like in this film, what's really annoying about this is that, well, I mean, like for the character of Barbara, and what I hope is what she comes to realize as a character is that, like, Diana, who's, like, beautiful, gorgeous, amazing, is showing interest in her as she is at the start of the film. Like, Barbara is, like, socially awkward and inept with like, you know, like, she's bumbling, but, like, Diana likes her, and she's interested in her, she thinks she's really funny and personable, and, like, it's a big gay, and, like, she doesn't have to change. Like, I think my problem with one of the problems I have with this movie is that, like, she says, I want to be more like her, when, like, Dana was liking her for her.
Yeah.
So someone's finding some interest in her, and then she's like, I want to be different now. And it's like, no, you could have learned to, like, love yourself, which is, like, and again, one of the points of the movie is, you know, that, but...
It's also funny to me how she asked to be more like Diana, and then, because the stone fucks you up, rather than get like her positive traits like her humanity and caring for people, she gets like just her basic physical traits and confidence, but none of the humanity.
Yeah, because she lost her own.
Well, that's the monkey's paw.
Yeah.
But anyway, is it
slapped your nose a lot? I'm very sorry.
But is it really like a loss for you if you don't even recognize that you've lost your humanity?
Yeah. Again, because this movie is operating under the assumption that all people are basically good. So to be made not a basically good person,
we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
I also there was also I think the thing that like this scene immediately establishes that she's going to be that character is you have the other woman who comes in and is like, hey, the FBI is having us look at all this shit from the black market mall thing. And she's like, oh, we need you, Barbara, to look at it. And she's like, oh, yeah, that sounds great. I would love to help the FBI. And the woman's like, is that a yes? And she's like,
well, before that, she's like, do you know who Barbara is? She's like, oh, yeah, it's me. I'm right here. She's like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. Oh, we've met before.
You hired me last week.
Yeah,
you fired him last week.
It's one of those. It's
listen, here's
this scene works really well in a comedy.
Yeah.
When the comedy is good.
Here's the thing, is that like, so like she walks in and like she drops her papers. And I was like, oh, hey, hi, Joe Bob, whatever. Hey, help me out. And the guy's like sneers at her and walks away. And I'm like, that dude's an asshole.
Yeah.
That's a bad person.
Yeah.
That's a very bad person who just did that.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? Like, even if it's someone that I didn't like at like my job, I would help them.
Yeah,
like,
well, it's to set up the fact that when she takes her glasses off, he wants to have sex with her.
Even before that.
No, wait.
Yeah. It's just after she wishes from the stone. Like she like like takes off like her. What she like changes it out for like a little bit, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, "Oh, hey."
Yeah, her hair's like a little more up. She's wearing a really tight black dress now. That that look good on her.
It looks great.
Yeah.
I think just my main thing with Kristen Wiig in this movie is I didn't find her funny, and I know that's not really like a good argument, but I will say that her character wasn't like. She was, right, again, that line where they try to have that nerdy, like, fuck up comedic villain who becomes a serious threat. It's like, I would argue that at least Kristen Wiig made the transformation somewhat believable. But before she turns into Cheetah, I'm kind of just waiting for her to turn bad because I already know where the story is going.
Yeah, it's fair. And it's like...
it's not a bad performance. I would say just that the writing is very pedestrian.
Yeah.
That would be my argument, is that Kristen Wiig, like her or don't like her, my brother was there with us when we were watching it, and he was making jokes about, like, why are you here? Why don't you go back to not being funny on Saturday Night Live? And I'm like, hey, like, fair. But yeah, that's my main thing, is she's okay, but...
I don't like Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
But I think she's fine in this movie.
Yeah.
I did laugh at her jokes when I first watched it. When I was like with my boyfriend, I was having a good time with it, and I thought she was really fine. I think she's good throughout the whole movie, even like when she becomes Cheetah and shit. I think she's pretty good.
I can agree with you up until Cheetah. I think
like when she's evil and shit.
Well, I mean, once she's actually furry force.
That's not. I mean, like. Okay, when she becomes evil but not fully transformed into a furry.
Yeah, that's
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I mean, when she turns evil, she kind of becomes the character of Cheetah. She's wearing cheetah print shit and she's being all evil. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I will say. Yeah, performance wise, I agree. I think her costumes get more and more ridiculous until she becomes a furry from Cats. But
they also do the thing.
No, that's an insult. That's an insult.
It's an insult, but I don't apologize.
Yeah, they also do the thing that Hancock does, where as soon as she's evil, now she wears smeared eyeliner, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, because she's still sexy, but now she's evil sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But that, so it turns, so they're cataloging all the shit from the black market mall heist.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, hey, there's this stone here that's like, it's probably worthless. It says grants wishes, some bullshit. And you have this random guy who like comes up and touches the stone. He's like, I wish for coffee, am I right? And he's like, and then he gets a coffee, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this establishes it. That's good. It's a fun moment. I chuckled. Funny. I enjoyed it.
And then he goes, "Ooh, hot!" And that's the downside. It was too hot.
Yeah, and then so the secret is to wish for small things. I really
want the scene, like a post-credit scene where he's like, "I renounce my wish,"
or his tongue just gets burned again.
Yeah.
No, but that's a good point. It does seem to correlate that the less of an impactful wish you make, the less of a side effect you'll get.
Yeah. So then, you get the scene where she passes it to Diana. It's like, I can't even imagine what I would wish for, and Diana's just looking at it. It's like,
and this was this was pretty good. She's staring at it, and then like she blinks, and like there's a little bit of like a wind furl like on her hair, and it's like, I shouldn't have to say it. We all know what she wishes for.
If I hadn't seen the trailer, I think I would have liked that a lot more. Because it is. I mean, the fact that I know that Steve Trevor comes back makes that really obvious.
Well, I mean, it's obvious even if you don't know.
No, but
because before that, because after the mall heist, she goes home and there's like Steve Trevor's watch is there.
Yeah,
and then like there's like the Trevor Ranch pictures of Steve. Pages of like So
and then you have at the start of when she first arrives at the museum or whatever, you have beta male cuck number 3 of the film who's like, hey Diana, I'm at the White House now and it's really great to work. Really want to work with you. And she's like, oh, that's great. Yeah, Paul.
That was at the party later.
It's still, but that's still before she meets Trevor. So there's the running thing of like, no one, like, her being alone in the world and no one else like coming close.
I'll say that yes, I agree with you, Sal. It was a lot more subtle than it could have been. Yes. But yes, I also acknowledge I know exactly where the plot's going. Partially because of the trailer.
Yeah, I wish the trailer didn't show that Steve Trevor was coming back.
There was no other hook they could have given, really.
Pedro Pascal, Wonder Woman.
To them, they were
Kristen Wiig. People like her. I know we don't. No. But people like her.
Hey, I know. I'm saying that like that Steve Trevor thing, that felt like they were like, this is the big thing to get people who loved the romance in the first movie to come back. I don't know. That's just how it feels.
I think it was a bad move.
I think I would have rather in the trailer show like maybe in scenes where like show scenes where she's thinking it and then show flashbacks to the first movie where it's like, we're just showing the repercussions of like where she's at from the first movie, but not actually give away that he comes back and possesses another man.
It also could have been the thing where he was spotted on set like a few months beforehand. They were like, ah, shit, well.
You could have flashbacks. You could have played it off.
You could have.
You panicked.
And they failed.
Yeah.
So and at the same time, Barbara makes the wish in the same scene, right? No, it's because there's three scenes.
She does it later after they have their date. And after Diana,
oh, that's right.
sucker punches John Moxley.
That's right. Yeah. Once she sees Diana save her from drunk Moxley.
Then
that's when
she makes her
I want to be like her. And it's like
Yeah, but it's a cool scene where it sets up like Diana can read Latin and she's very like world like she knows a lot of languages and she's very world traveled.
Yeah.
I think it's a funny scene where she's like, oh, this one is lame. And I mean, I laughed. It was good. I enjoyed myself.
If I liked Kristen Wiig, it would probably land better.
I don't like Kristen Wiig though.
Well, here's the thing: is
I think she sucks.
The whole time, like at that point, I was still in the moment of deciding whether or not I was going to like her in this. So, and I'd say overall that I enjoy her performance in it. So if I had known that ahead, I would be more kind. But
are you saying that your prejudice enabled you to enjoy the scene?
No,
that's what you said.
I think I don't know. For me, it came off as just another Kristen Wiig Saturday Night Live one-liner, and so it.
I've never seen her on SNL, so I have no idea how she functions on there.
Picture any other episode of SNL, but she's there.
I've never seen SNL since I was like too young to remember it.
It hasn't changed.
I don't even remember how it was.
Fair enough.
Sketch comedy.
The important thing is,
I was busy watching The State. See, that's deep cut.
That's a deep pull.
Early 2000s comedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But the main thing, the real takeaway here is that life is good.
It can't be better. Dude, Pedro Pascal's the best part of this movie.
I think that's pretty unequivocally true.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually liked him a lot more the second time. Like the first time I was like, you're really entertaining. Like and again, being really gone for the movie. I feel like a lot of his stuff.
He is hamming it up, but it is in the Sam Raimi style of comic book villains hamming it up.
Yeah,
where he's still a human being, but he's also fucking bug nuts.
He's the most dynamic character.
Absolutely, I can agree with that.
The film really is a Pedro Pascal movie. Like it's really the Max Lord movie. It's not.
Well, it's true.
Well, because they do he goes through the villain character arc that I like and I actually want to see more of where he's been like the whole movie he's deceiving himself going, I'm gonna be better, I'm gonna like be the best, like I know I'm like shitty now, but I'm like once I get everything I want, then I'm gonna be a good person. And then at the end it's like, no, I'm a shitty person and I need to repent. It's like that's good, that's really good. That's a solid arc. It's it's
like the end of the Witcher books.
I'm very curious.
That's what happens. Spoilers.
Oh, I'm very curious what was reshot about this movie. because this movie did have screenings where people weren't liking it, and they said they did some reshoots, but I'm trying to figure out if it's the ending or if it's possibly like the middle at some point, because I know they did something, and part of me wonders if Pedro Pascal wasn't given the redemption ending at the end in the original cut, and people were like, oh, but I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Every film gets reshot nowadays.
It's sad but true.
Yeah.
But so Pedro Pascal is the head of this company and trying to get lots of investors, make lots of money, but of course doesn't actually have anything going.
It's so sad when we finally see Max Lord's like place where he walks in. It's a beautiful outside. Walks in, beautiful like reception room, beautiful waiting room. Go to the elevator, and then it's just like a desolate office space. But his office is beautiful.
His office is beautiful.
But the whole office area is like cardboard and like shitty cubicles and like papers everywhere and like a phone like I'm not like by itself on a table. It's gigantic, and it's like, oh.
It's a lot of good visual storytelling to establish like where he's at.
Like you immediately go from Max Lord, this big hotshot oil guy, to oh no,
it's like, oh no, he's about to fold. Like he's going under. This
is really bad.
But he's done a lot of research and had a very unique plan that I did not see coming.
This was the mulligan I had to give the movie. I was just like, hey, Max Lord knows about the stone. It's fine. It's what needs to happen. I will give you this mulligan.
Hey, I will. Hey, listen. I will accept. Early on, when he's talking to Barbara, he's like, "We both have an interest in gemology."
Yeah.
He's interested in drilling. There could be overlap to, he maybe has picked up on some things.
It makes enough sense, is what I'm saying. I don't need it to be explained.
It could be the uncut gems thing of like, no, hold on, yeah, it's just uncut gems, and maybe like the reason why that gem was in the black market thing was because it was waiting transport to go to Max Lord.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, I figure that's what it was.
I could see that.
He didn't have it come in a fish, but
yeah.
But also I forgot, because we have the scene where he first meets Diana and Barbara, and it's so fucking funny how he's talking about his stuff on TV.
And this is after Barbara's made the wish already.
Yeah. The first time it's before.
Is it?
Yeah, because I forgot about this scene completely too. Because that's when he finds out that she has the stone and everything, and it's at the party when she's changed that he like goes to get it.
That's right. He did like her before the stone.
Yeah, he kind of he ignores her a little bit, like nowhere near as much as everyone else, but
he's clearly hitting on Diana.
Yeah, and it's great. I love that he's talking about TV, and she's like, "Oh, I don't have a television." And he's like, "I have a great relationship with Sears. I can get you one hooked up." 19 inches. He's like, I'll stick with the one I don't have.
Very good 1984 joke.
Yeah, I was like, that's actually genius. That's wonderful. I hope that was a Pedro Pascal improvisation.
Probably.
Yeah, that sounds good. But yeah, so we have the change of Barbara loses the glasses and all of a sudden she's hot. It's
losing the glasses then showing some leg. Yeah, that's what it is.
But not all at once though. It's slowly. There seems like they shouldn't even not in my glasses anymore.
Yeah,
there's the Peter Parker looking in the mirror.
Yeah,
big change.
Yeah,
which is it's so funny. When we watched this with my boyfriend, he was like, "All Barbara needs to do is just brush her fucking hair. Like she's not like unattractive. It's just like brush her hair." It's just like it's so funny when they try to make a character who's like, look, they're unattractive, and I'm like, no,
it's especially because Hollywood makes everyone attractive unless it's for a very specific purpose. So when they try to pull this, it's like you could have gotten someone who was less attractive.
If they like pulled like a monster on me, that'd be one thing.
Yeah,
Charlize Theron.
Yeah, she won an Oscar for playing the first confirmed female serial killer who was like very unattractive, and so they did like a ton of prosthetics to her face.
Yeah,
it's a very good movie.
It's a very good effect too.
Okay. Yeah, but that's the thing is you could always do that. I mean, sometimes they'll like put prosthetics in. Like I remember Iron Man 3, they made Killian have like really bad buck teeth and balding head, and I was like, oof.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least
that's more of an attempt, though.
At least
that's what I'm saying.
At least we don't see on screen his buck teeth getting fixed, like a certain other superhero movie.
I don't remember which one.
That's Well, you'll see him soon in the next Spider-Man movie.
It was Spider-Man 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, his teeth get fixed by the electricity.
Yeah, it's quite humorous. So there's a big old company party, and Diana's doing her lone wolf, kind of going through the crowd and everything. Maxwell Lord is like, Barbara knows where the stone is, so I'm gonna fuck that ass. And just very immediately apparent, and it's apparent to her as well. But and I think this is one of my favorite moments actually with Barbara in the movie, because it's where she's kind of transitioning from being like, she still kind of has the awkward personality.
She kind of gives in to the power she has with her looks, even if she knows that they don't actually love her for her.
Exactly.
But she kind of goes, well, I'm getting attention.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
And that's what matters, because I can't be loved for being my nerdy gemologist self.
Yeah. Except the Anna Prince would have tapped that if you had just not gone evil. And that is a rare gift.
This party scene, okay, so this is going to come up at some point. I'm of two minds about... So they do this thing where, to hammer home the point of how much she misses Steve Trevor, everyone's like hitting on Diana. Random guys are trying to talk to her, and I think the mistake of the movie is that it portrays these people as really creepy, when the real mature way to tell it would be, oh, all these actually cool guys are asking Diana out, but because she's holding on to Steve Trevor, she won't allow herself to move on to maybe a good option.
Yeah.
And they don't really do that because everyone is like so inferior or has like a really high voice, and he's talking to Diana. It's like, yeah, like, I get it, but I think it just robs a bit of the substance, as every man is so inferior to Steve Trevor, who's this idealized former lover. It's like, no, but actually everyone is basically inferior to him. It's a bit weird.
We can do this talk right now?
Well,
this is going to be the conversation.
I was leading in with this because then there's the element of the harassment. And then there's also the actual Steve Trevor stuff. So there's like three pillars to this.
Want to talk about this now? Let's just go through it.
Sure.
Yeah. So this film, I understand what they're trying to do.
Yes.
They're trying to say, hey, it sucks being a woman. You get harassed a lot. And I get that. And we're not going to try to say that this is unrealistic.
I will say there's a part.
Oh, okay. Go on.
I will say there's a part. I think the part with Diana, I can get behind. I still think it's too much, but I can believe that that happens for a lot of women. The bit with Barbara when she's like on a run and like 3 or 4 guys, that literally, have you seen the
it's that video where they where like, this woman was wandering the streets and was harassed by all these people, and it's like, yeah, but you clearly just edited it down to the most like extreme examples to make it look worse than it was.
Yeah, it's like, have you seen this is gonna come out of left field possibly. Have you seen the RoboCop
No.
like rapist parody video?
No.
What?
There's this video.
Oh, okay.
There's this video where there's a guy like abducting a woman in an alleyway, and then RoboCop comes along and like shoots his cock off.
Oh, from the fan film where they redo every scene.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's that's part of a fan film where a bunch of directors redid every single scene.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then his bit was making it so that a horde of people came and they all got their dicks shot off.
Yeah. That's what the Barbara jogging sequence made me think of, where it's just like in the span of like 5 seconds, like 3 or 4 guys are like, hey, you look good. Hey, slow down. Hey, and it's like,
this is what I'll say is that I get it, and for the purposes of storytelling, it'd be like, well, it can't be realistic. To get you in the mindset, everyone has to be like saying something. My problem is that like going into the first Wonder Woman, there was all this like talk about, oh man, like how feminists are going to make the Wonder Woman movie. How much are they going to like shit on men? And it's like they don't. The first movie doesn't do any of that, but then the second movie is like, oh no, we're gonna lean into the and every female-led superhero movie has to have this. Catwoman does this, Supergirl does this. It's just lazy. I don't much care for it.
Going back to what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
I think this is I think it's realistic to say that this happens to women a lot.
Mhm.
That, I mean, you can say for that one Barbara scene that she was going through a seedy part of town, where again, if a woman's running through that, men are going to do that because this is not unrealistic. I think the film didn't have to showcase it this much for us to get the point, like thematically or as a plot point or whatever. I thought the film like leaned on it too much. I think that what they're trying to say is like understandable and totally fine and realistic and does happen. But
yeah,
it's the every 2 seconds it feels like a guy is trying to hit on one of the females.
Yeah.
And you can say that's by design and that's the point of the movie and that's like, oh, it doesn't suck to be a woman. You know, I know you're annoyed by this, but this happens to us all the time. I get that. It's just from a storytime perspective, it feels a bit like every guy in the movie, except for Steve Trevor, and to a degree Max Lord,
and kindly homeless black man,
and Leon, the kindly homeless black man, is an awful, just reprehensible, terrible human being who just wants to hit on women.
Yeah, or get more nukes, or conquer other countries.
Yeah, or wants his wife to die, or like.
Well, that's my point, is at the end of the movie is going to say everyone is a good person. But the whole movie is saying, look how shitty all these men are, and that's my problem.
Yeah.
If you want to do a cynical, women are great, men are shitty movie, stick to it. Don't try to tell me at the end that everyone's a good person deep down, when it's like, no, but this guy was clearly just on the streets drinking to rape women.
I think one of my biggest problems with this whole thing is that it's, if you want to make the movie that says, hey, women get hit on all the time, this is the way to go through women. You need to make that movie. You can't just set the idea down and then not address it further than just, hey, it happens. You know, if they had if this was a movie that went further into that and explored that more, I'd be more okay with it. But it sort of feels like Rogue One, where like ideas are presented and then they never they give you this present. It says the idea on it, and then they just never open it. But hey, it's there. We gave you the question.
Again, this is made worse by Steve Trevor's whole plot line. Because I just don't... Because again, going back to what I said, is that Steve Trevor is like, oh, he's like the perfect boyfriend, and he's wonderful and awesome, and all these other guys, either they're harassing me, or they're very they're very wimpy, or they're very just not appealing.
Yeah. Or rapey.
Well, that's harassing, yeah. Like, nobody actually got raped, you know. It was just harassing.
Well, no, someone did get raped.
Who?
The guy that Steve Trevor's possessing.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get to that. Let's talk about this. This is weird.
So Diana Prince, weird. Wonder Woman, our superhero and hero of the film, rapes somebody.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Well,
there's not even like a moral quandary over it. There's no, like, they have the scene
not even like a, hey, this is weird, should we be doing this?
Yeah.
No.
Like, it looks like they're almost gonna do it when they go back to where the body that Steve Trevor possesses is living, because he like goes to the mirror and he's like, oh yeah, I see his face, and like talks about how much he's learned about this guy's life from like having woken up there. It's like, oh, that's really interesting. And then they just fuck, and it's like, it's Steve Trevor and Diana. And it's like, what about this guy who's assumably fully cognizant of what's going on?
So, okay, logistical question.
Yes.
Because overall, I was surprised that as the film went on, the Dreamstone makes sense. Like, it follows the rules that it sets up.
Yeah.
There's a few logistical questions, but most of that can either be, like, hand waved or is explained.
Yeah.
The one thing that doesn't make any fucking sense to me, why does it bring Steve Trevor back by having him possess a body?
Cat's paw.
Why?
Cat's.
But the cat's paw. But the monkey's paw is that she's losing her powers. Why does it have two negative aspects then?
Because it's a really big wish.
I don't know. The weird.
I can't help
the weirdness of this possessing another body, like hijacking him for sex. Very weird, like fantasy wish fulfillment. Because listen, this is already like, so in a relationship, right? The idea of your partner imagining someone else during sex is weird.
Yeah.
So this being like a weird kind of, so this guy is having sex with Diana, but she's seeing it as Steve.
And that's
And she imagines Steve consistently the whole movie.
Well, and that's the thing that makes me wonder.
Never breaking for a moment.
Like, because I assume, and I think it's more or less implied in the movie that everyone else is seeing him as the dude.
Yeah.
But Diana is just able to see him as Steve.
I don't get why this happens.
And again,
I just don't get it.
And I think the thing that makes it even weirder is, so you have the goofy getting him dressed montage.
Yeah.
And she just suggests like this outfit that he doesn't really like. And at the end of the movie, when the guy is free and not possessed, he like approaches her and is like charming and cool.
Outfit.
And he's wearing the outfit. And it's like, what are you trying to say?
That scene is saying that retroactively he's okay with being raped.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's him saying, everything you did, I approve of
but
what it was.
But it's not clear as to how much he knows.
Because there's a bit where I'm like, is he conscious of what's going on? Well, clearly not. But this is just weird because even if they didn't have sex, this is morally wrong. This man has family. He has friends. He might have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And you're taking him around the world and he can potentially die.
Yeah, like when he's like on the fucking like on the Egyptian highways chase scene.
Yeah. They don't waste 1 second thinking maybe if this guy dies, people are going to be sad.
What if he has a fucking heart condition?
Yeah, like there could be a million reasons.
Like I know Steve Trevor can fight, but does this guy have the muscle reflexes to fight somebody like that?
Also,
what the fuck?
Yeah, he looked jacked, but he doesn't have the military training.
Yeah,
it's just I'm saying
he's just an engineer.
I'm saying this movie would be way better if he just appeared.
Yep.
Yes.
Like having this whole body possessing thing, it goes nowhere. It adds almost nothing to the movie. It just raises very uncomfortable questions.
Feels the need to explain things sometimes, and then sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, it's one of those things where it just felt the need to explain it. It's like, no, if Steve Trevor just showed up and said, "Hey, I'm back,"
and that's the wish, and then he just vanishes when she renounces the wish, nothing changes in the movie.
I would have had like 1,000 less questions.
Yeah, yes. No, 100%.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And I would be infinitely more comfortable.
And there'd be so much less rape.
Well, because again, I think that's the thing is I'm not just being a guy going, oh, all these men are catcalling and harassing women. I wouldn't have had a problem as much if it wasn't like this double standard bullshit of her fucking the guy.
Yeah, because the problem is like, okay, you can have your film where, okay, all the guys are harassing her at parties and on the street and shit, but you can't turn around and say, but it's fine for her to rape this random other guy.
That's my point. That's what I wanted to get to.
I think the other thing that's weird about that end scene, and I don't know if this is intentional, but I think this could be a read you might have on it. So he approaches her, and they're making conversation, and it seems like they're kind of like they're bouncing off each other pretty well, like they're joking around and everything. Yeah. And then at the end, he doesn't even like say he doesn't introduce himself or anything. He's just like, see you around. And it's like, oh, see, he's a good person because he didn't try to pick her up. Yeah. It's like, no, that's what you do.
Yeah, no, but they were clearly having a connection.
That's what that's like, God.
Yeah. That's how people meet.
That is, yes. That is how people meet. That is a solid, like, how I met my girlfriend situation, or like, you know,
I was at this like Christmas thing and I saw her and we just started talking and then like we had a connection.
Again, she like complimented my clothes.
Then I asked her if she wanted to go out for some coffee and she said yes, and now we're dating. It's been 2 years.
Here's my rewrite. You have maybe this guy be someone who works at the museum, but she's still holding on, and he's
if you have to have this guy.
No, I'm setting it up. So he works at the museum and he's like very charming and we like him, but Diana's like, no, I can't get attached to anyone because I'm still not over Steve. You set him up, you maybe see him again at the party. Cool. Steve appears at the party, he's just there. Yeah. We have the same plot line with Steve, and then the guy comes in at the end and she knows him, but now she's gonna actually talk to him and go out with him. I think that would make way more sense than this weird side thing.
Especially since you have the moment, like, right before she renounces her wish, where she's like, oh, I'll never love again. And Steve Trevor's like, oh, I pray that's not true. And it's like, oh, see, closure. Like, now she can move on. And it's like, I'll see you later. And I was like, fuck you.
God.
I don't know if that, I mean, I guess it's setting up Batfleck, but...
why did you feel the need to have this weird explanation?
Again, and that's when I started going like,
which only gives you more questions.
Yeah.
It's
real creepy.
Because again, I like I said, every other time the stone does something or is used for something, it makes sense.
Yeah, but this has two negatives, like you were saying. It's the powers, and also Steve can't have his own body.
It's very weird.
It's like, maybe no, pick one. Like like Barbara, she loses her humanity.
Yeah,
maybe like if you. Like, I think we're all in agreed that this was a foolish plot point to add in. But if you were dead set on no, he has to come back via possessing someone, you could say, like, because it was, like, technically a double wish, not just that he was alive, but that he was in this time period at that same age.
Okay, maybe that's what it is, but you can only make one wish.
I know, that's the... Yeah.
It's so stupid.
It's real bad.
She rapes a guy.
Not to mention,
unambiguously, that is what happens.
Not to mention,
and if she didn't rape a guy, she put a guy's life in danger
several times.
Yeah.
Remember how they have a scene where he's like, "Oh, this is a great plane. I want to get on." And she's like, "You don't have a passport." And it's like, "No, I want to fly." And she's like, "Okay. We'll just take it."
Oh,
I
hate this scene.
Oh, you've ruined this man's life. But the other thing...
I got that man on security cameras now, and 5 months later got arrested, and he doesn't know what happened because he got possessed.
God, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. But the other thing is, as soon as...
Did he ever return that plane?
No, the extended ending where he's like, "Anyway, see you later," walks off, FBI agent script, "Let's go, sir."
Well, to be fair, I think it's implied that it's her plane, so it's technically not
No, this scene sucks. No, it's not. No. At first, I was like, "Oh, it's her plane," but then they're all like, "Oh, we have an unverified thing on the runway," and if it was her plane, she'd be, "Oh, hi. It's Diana Prince. Well, this is my fucking plane. I am a billionaire."
Well, but you still need when you're a private jet, if you're flying, they need their passport. Like, they need the info of everyone.
But she didn't call ahead and say, "Hey, at 8:00 tonight, I myself am going to use the runway."
But Mr. Man on there who was with her, it's paper thin. They say he doesn't have a passport, so he would not be able to get on.
If you have a private jet, you wouldn't need the passport if you're flying within the country. But they don't go within the country.
They don't go within the country.
But they're invisible anyway, so they're stealth jetting away.
Well, no, because that's a stupid fucking... Yeah, it's because it's all so poorly handled.
This is also Patty Jenkins can flicker bean over pilots.
It is.
This is all it is. This is all facilitating this one woman's fetish.
Yeah,
it's true.
And I mean, hey, it leads to a cool scene, leads to an invisible jet.
I like the invisible jet. Is the fact that Diana goes, "Oh, by the way, I also have this power," a little contrived? Sure, but whatever.
Hey, at least she's like, "Hey, my father hit their mysterious. I've been trying to learn how to do that."
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? You just set that up, but hey, it's a thing that's already been established in the universe. Sure, okay.
I gave it to him. It was everything around the scene that I didn't like most.
Yeah, it was just like, because she walks up, she flashes a thing.
Because I would have just bought that Diana owns a fucking hangar and owns a private jet because she already owns a ranch.
Steve.
And she's like a millionaire or whatever.
Yeah.
She's in hiding. I would just buy that she got a bunch of planes because Steve liked to fly, and then they just go get it. It just seems like a really weird excuse for them to turn it invisible when they could have just used that as the explanation for why they can't land in Egypt.
The scene would have been, "Oh, hey, these are my planes, but we might have some trouble getting out of here because I forgot to schedule, because this is so last minute, I didn't schedule a time for the runway. So we have to kind of be quick about this. You know, to fly this thing. Yeah, let me try to figure it out real quick."
Yeah.
Or like, "Oh, hey, Steve. All right, we gotta steal a plane now." Like, it's the fact that, like, we don't know if, like, it's her planes.
Yeah.
Is it, like, the Smithsonian's planes? I'm guessing it's that, right? Or is it just, like, some random hangar?
I think it was a random, like, place she knew about.
Like, the fact that we don't know is a problem.
It is.
Yeah, again, we get the invisible jet out of it, so accomplished, but it was just very weird. I didn't quite understand why that...
We get the invisible plane, and we get set up for how she learns to fly.
Yeah,
because he talks about how much he loves flying and what it's like.
Yeah,
and this is kind of a riff on the "Can you read my mind" scene from Superman.
Yeah,
where they're like flying when there's and it's invisible. You know.
I don't know how you lads feel about this, but it's something I knew I was gonna feel as soon as I saw it in the trailer. I love Chris Pine. I don't like that Steve Trevor's in this movie at all. Because as soon as he comes back, I know it's gonna go, oh, but they have to party and it's gonna be so sad. And it's like, but you did that so well.
That's why if they had made him just appear and have his body, maybe he wouldn't be gone by the end of the movie.
Exactly.
But with him possessing a body, I already know it's not permanent.
Yeah.
You could have done this story without Steve Trevor. Again, it's this weird thing where I'm kind of glad he's in it, but he also doesn't do very much. And I won't say that he was. And you were saying that like it was the environment that we watched, and maybe I would have cared more when he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I watched it with my boyfriend, and we were really taking the movie seriously and having a good time with it, I choked up a bit when he died, and my boyfriend was like gone, like tears, totally just distraught. And I mean, and what I said to you was that because we watched it all together, some of us sauced, laughing and joking at me the whole time. By the time we got to that point, the environment wasn't a place where like you could even cry at that.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'll give it this. Like, it was well done. Mm-hmm. It's one of the better scenes in the movie when Steve leaves. Even though I don't like the mechanics of it, it's good. It's just that's the scene in the movie that I'm caring about.
Yeah.
But I didn't really care too much about Steve before that because, well, there was the awkwardness of the possessing thing, and then I'm just kind of wondering what's his goal. What is his character arc?
It's like a outside of the initial setup of I possessed somebody and you raped him. Mm-hmm. I love Steve Trevor and I love Chris Pine, and like I think he's a lot of fun through the movie.
Yeah,
I think that he does help out at parts of the film, like keeping Max Lord contained while the fight happens.
Right.
And he helps in the fight as well by like helping Diana with all the guards when her powers are low. Because the whole film is sort of like there to help her because her powers are getting down.
Yeah.
And also for the audience to be like a fun, like, because it's the film problem of in a book, like in a novel, you could have had Diana by herself the whole movie.
Yeah.
The whole book, because she has her internal monologue, she has like everything else. But in a film, a person by themselves in a fun, campy movie doesn't quite work.
Yeah.
Needs someone to kind of riff off of. Especially in this sort of like, we have to kind of be secretive thing. So I think he does help the plot in a sense of like,
she has someone she can talk to.
And like he helps out as her powers are getting low, and also he's a thing that she needs to sacrifice to get her powers back.
Powers getting low thing, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Overall, it was fine. They did kind of oscillate where they would work, and then some wouldn't work, and then some would, and then it would be fine. That's kind of weird. It did remind me of the Wolverine when he's in Japan and he's like losing his healing factor.
God, yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking the whole time of like, oh, okay, so it like kind of works.
Man, the Wolverine's so good.
It's very good.
Especially the unrated cut.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, James Mangold. But so that I mean, again,
upon rewatch, it was actually kind of cool when I first watched the movie, the bit about her like trying to open up the door and like having a hard time with it, and then just breaking the whole thing off and Steve going, strong lock. Because she couldn't break the lock, just the actual rig around it. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's so funny because the lock's really strong. Then upon rewatch, I'm like, oh, she's already losing her powers.
Yeah.
Because if it was full power, she'd rip it right off. And I'm like, oh, that's really subtle.
What they could have done here, what they could have done to put a kind of timer on the powers thing, maybe it would have been a bit better, is maybe Steve becomes more actualized in this current time the less she has her powers.
Yeah, it's the fact that she gets, because like, I mean, yeah, that's good.
I probably would have written it that way, is that like maybe Steve is kind of more of a ghost at first, and then he gets more real, and then she loses her powers the more real he becomes. That could have been cool. But yeah, because overall, it's not exactly good writing to have it come and go as the plot demands, but it didn't bother me extremely. It just was a little inefficient from a writing point of view.
Yeah, I do enjoy the story of the heroes losing powers and has to fight while weakened. I do enjoy that.
Yeah,
just on a personal bias level.
Well, I mean, the Wolverine is a really good example.
Yeah.
Logan too, because that's a plot point in that as well.
I was gonna say, I feel like,
and James Mangold's great.
I know, yeah,
he's fantastic.
Can't wait till we go through all of his movies.
See, I really want to like the idea of depowering, but a lot of the times I think it feels just contrived as just a means of kind of keeping them from steamrolling. Like obviously it can be done well, like we said with Logan and
but the difference is that he's a much more close range, gritty character.
Yeah,
and since Wonder Woman can
lasso and
jump whole buildings, it's like, well,
I think the other thing,
and fly and deflect bullets.
Well, so in this movie she learns how to fly, and then she just doesn't. And all
right, so see, I'm fine with the idea of her getting flight because she has flight in the comics.
Yes.
My problem is when she gets it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Another thing is that
now, if the reason why she flew was because she had the Assyria armor, I'd be like, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But the fact that she just flies, and I'm like, but in Justice, maybe Zack Snyder, but then why did she fly in BVS?
Well,
she does some sick jumping really far.
Yeah, she does.
That's kind of like flying.
That's true.
Well, yeah.
Or the flying with style.
They do a thing where she flies, quote unquote, but she still uses the lasso to like direct herself.
Yeah.
So it's like assisted flying.
And it was very emotional with her like angry lasso whipping flying, like
What I've learned is even in DC movies I don't like necessarily, like Man of Steel. Man, they do flying scenes really good.
That's true. I will also. I was just thinking about this. I think another reason that we both might have had a little bit of a like her depowering being a little weird is that.
Sure.
I feel like when the movie starts, it feels like that she's already like. She comes off as way more powerful than the first movie.
Well, that
she's been 60 years.
Yeah,
I believe it.
It tracks, especially if you count like Batman, Superman, and Justice League, where she's very clearly faster than she was in Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I think that's the first thing that becomes apparent in this movie is that she is so fucking fast. But obviously, it makes sense. I just wish that I think I needed like a more solid. I needed to know what her limits were before she started being depowered, because otherwise, when I don't, I have to fill in the blanks with the first movie and go, oh, she's getting weaker, and it's like, well, she was doing that in the first movie.
Yeah, it's a bit. I don't know the right word. It could have been a lot more solidly defined, I suppose.
Yeah.
But again, it's not that we think that she's going to die, not just because she's in movies after this. It's more that the conflict of the film is about the Steve Trevor and about the world's being destroyed because of the wishes. Yeah. Because it's like, oh, Wonder Woman, yeah, she's like weakened, but we really, she's not really in trouble. It's more like, oh, the entire universe is being torn apart by the wish party that's going on.
That's the thing is I do like that she doesn't get all the way down to being completely depowered. It's literally just no, I'm still pretty superhuman, but this threat is so fucking huge. I need to be at absolute full strength.
It was weird because it was honestly like most of her ability stayed. It's just like she lost her grip one time and it was her durability that was lowered.
Yeah.
So the way they kept the tension was, oh, really powerful bullets can cut her. But
I mean, you also had she used her super duper shoot to whoop arm brace blast, and Cheetah just went straight through it, no problem.
It's true.
So
the one referring to like powers, the one scene where the powers, some of the scene was good, but some of the CGI was a bit dodgy, was the Egyptian road chase.
Yes, I agree.
Because there's like that weird bit where she's running against the green screen. And then there was that bit where I know you like it, Sal, but when she catches the bullet with the lasso of truth, I was like, what are you doing?
I think she is a bit slow to react. She's a bit slow.
Sure.
And the bullet definitely should have actually hit the car at least.
Yeah.
But that's so fucking cool she did that.
I mean, you said it when we were watching it that first time, but they fucking goddamn love the lasso of truth.
Yeah. They fucking love the lasso, man. It's so dope.
And it's because Patty Jenkins went back and watched all of 70s Wonder Woman, and I know she did because of how this movie ends. But in that, it's like, oh, it's all about the lasso. Yeah. She's not using a sword.
Yeah.
She's not... Wait a minute.
No sword in this movie.
No sword?
No, there's no sword in this movie. but she does use it in Batman v Superman. So I guess she's just keeping that on hand for killing.
Listen,
Doomsday level.
Doomsday is really important, and you can't just make him tell the truth, okay, or show him the truth.
Yeah,
you gotta just cut him.
He can't speak.
Yeah,
yeah. She can't.
No,
she can't risk the lasso of truth being destroyed because that's a sacred heirloom.
I mean, that was one of the hype moments in Batman v Superman is when she finally uses the lasso to bind Doomsday.
Yeah,
but yeah, in this movie, it's way more about the lasso of truth.
The whole film's a lasso.
Yeah,
I mean, even how she beats the bad guys with the lasso of truth.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about Max Lord's kind of journey as he amasses power from getting wishes. So basically, we didn't say it, but he makes himself the stone. He basically finds a way to become the genie.
Yeah, it's really cool because his whole plot is if I'm the one giving the wishes, whatever their downside is, I get to decide. Yeah, and that downside I can use for myself. And I'm like, that's clever.
That's very clever.
But the downside is he's now the Dreamstone. So he has to make people want to cast wishes.
Yeah,
well, and the other downside is, he's destroying his body with every wish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was so worried he was going to become some crystal thing.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, please don't make him a CGI monster.
Yeah.
Oh, Sandman.
My God. But and I really like Pedro Pascal's kind of degeneration in this movie of him becoming more ragged. There was the very good comedy. I'll say this. The very good comedy was when he goes back to the office and he's like, wish for help, and then all these people start pouring in. He has assistants now, and they're all like, oh yeah, like this is so great, like what you're doing with this company as the world's like ending around them. It was a very funny satirical commentary on Wall Street and stuff,
Or that, or his first appearance at the museum when he's walking past the guy at work and he just goes, and he just thumbs up right in his face as he's walking.
It was such a fucking meme.
It was so good.
Well, because he's this big shot television personality, so he's all like exaggerated. Then in his office, he's like just crying alone with his son.
Yeah,
yeah.
The degeneration of his relationship with his son as well is really good. Because the first time his son gets dropped off, and it's like he is happy to see him. He's annoyed because it's coming out of nowhere. Because his ex-wife is like, oh, it's your week. And he's like, yay! And then, later on in the movie, like, his assistant is like, oh, your son's here. And he just, like, fucking gets furious and annoyed. And then he realizes his son overheard him. And he's like...
It's this great visual storytelling of, like, as he's screaming, like, and, like, it does a reaction shot of the assistant, but behind him, through the wall, you see the shadow of the son on the chair.
Yeah.
Then as he's ranting, the son gets up and runs away. And it's like, oh...
I think the whole treatment of Max Lord and his son was probably the most mature part of the movie. Yeah. Because it was a very good way to say, listen, he's not an evil person. No. He just has been screwed over his whole life, and he doesn't want that for his son, and he wants to give him everything.
His dad beat him and his wife, and and whenever he peed the bed, his dad like yelled at him about it, and it's like, clearly this guy's a really... I mean, like, hey,
what father doesn't want to provide for his son? It's a very relatable motivation.
Let's be honest. Like, I'm sure growing up in America in the 1970s as a Hispanic man trying to become a businessman, not the easiest time.
Especially since he, I think they said he couldn't speak English when he first moved there.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like, he was at school and everyone was making fun of him.
Yeah, and like wearing like the shoes with the holes, and then everyone's making fun of him, and. Not an easy life.
No, not remotely.
Yeah, so it is this thing where you really sympathize with his motivations for acquiring all the power.
Yeah.
Because he screws over people who, basically people with bad intentions. He screws them over with their wishes while going, I'm going to take all this and do what I want.
But then I guess to the part where he's just like asking people on the street for wishes.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is the degeneracy starts where, because he becomes the stone, he starts to lose his humanity, because that's the theme of the movie, is that basically you'll lose your humanity if you
take the shortcut.
Well, yeah.
You can't take the short path, Diana.
Yeah, and again, the movie would have had enough in it where I didn't need that opening scene to tell me what the theme was, because it's very clearly about if you try to cheat your way to success.
Yeah.
Which is a very good theme, but yeah, Max Lord eventually just degenerates into this kind of like gibbering. What's your wish? What do you want?
He's like coughing up his lungs and shit, and his eyes fucking like bloodshot
and burst.
He's all disheveled, like, hey, it's okay.
He becomes a gremlin basically.
Yeah,
he does.
But I'd say Pedro Pascal's the best thing at the movie. His character's the most mature thing about the movie.
Yeah, that scene, first scene where he is like trying to reconcile with his son, and they're like on the couch, and he's just like, "Listen, once I get there, you can have whatever you wish for." And his son's just like, "I wish I could spend time." I'm just like, "No,
don't just use your one wish like that." And then the son is like, "I wish for your greatness," and he's like,
he's like, "Oh, fuck."
Piss.
Which leads to a sad scene later when the son's like wishing at the TV for his dad to come back, and he can't because he's up his wish already.
Yeah, he used it up. Yeah,
and he's just like, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
So basically, we get this weird chain of events where he goes to Ronald Reagan. I'm just going to call him Ronald Reagan because it is.
Yeah. You missed the scene where he goes to the Egyptian guy.
Yeah,
I know.
Reestablishes his kingdom
by raising the wall.
What the fuck?
I think that was
And he takes his armed guards.
Well, because I'm gonna take all your oil. And I already sold my oil. He's like, "Oh, I'll take your armed guards then, so no one's here to protect you. Bye."
It's so good.
And it's like, oh no. But this starts a chain of events where now, like, all of a sudden, there's like now political problems, and there's like a war might break out now, and it's like, oh shit,
proliferation of nukes everywhere.
Yeah.
After he meets with Ronald Reagan,
because Reagan asks for more nukes, which was a terrible wish. He should have wished for the enemy to have no nukes. Then you immediately win.
Also, I have to say, it's the way, like, how...
Come on.
Well, he didn't know that it was actually going to come true.
I know. But if I was going to, like, try to get a nuclear advantage, I'd be like, oh, well, if they have nothing, then it doesn't matter if I have just one, then I win.
It's also interesting how quick some of the wishes work, and how Diana's takes like a little bit of time.
That's what I'm saying.
Takes a little bit of time, but then like when he uses his wish against his partner, when he's like, then when the guy's just like, yeah, I wish that our company is successful, and he's like, great, I'll take it in exchange for your shares, and something's gonna happen to you to get you out of my way. And then as he gets downstairs, the police are already there, and like when he meets with Reagan's like, I thought I was somewhere else, and it's like, you just teleport the fucking president close enough by that he's able to have a meeting with him?
Or even like when she wishes for more help, and help's just like in the building already.
Yeah.
Whereas Steve had to like go out and find Diana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wasn't like right then and there, like, hey Diana. Oh!
Yeah. Again, it's all the wishes. Alan. Oh. The wishes make perfect sense when it's not Steve and Diana.
Yeah.
It's kind of true.
Because everywhere else in the movie, it works the exact same.
Yep.
It's also, and so we talked about it a little bit of how Barbara kind of lets it, she gradually embraces, like,
deal with it,
all of the people loving her and everything. She has the scene where she sees Diana and Steve together and is like, oh, I've been cucked. But there's an interesting amount of the movie where she is obviously going evil, but she's still helping Diana.
Yeah, because she's not full evil.
It's when they go to see the Mayan.
She's only half dead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, they go to see the exposition man for what the stone is.
Oh, I love this guy. He's so gacked.
It's very convenient that when Max Lord wished to be the stone, it left the ring behind to...
The one ring to rule them all.
Yeah.
With the Elvish inside. I mean, the god language.
Oh, it was crafted by Dolos, the god of lies and mischief. And I was like, oh, this must be before Ares killed all the gods.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I love so they're like, why didn't the gods show up? And I'm like, because Ares killed all the...
Yeah,
where have you been?
Fucking dead.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Because I was worried, like, please don't have him show up.
I know. Yeah. If I was like, don't confront Dolos.
Also, some people have this argument of like, this weird complaint with like, why doesn't Max Sword have like a Chinese kid? And I'm like, interracial marriage? How? Yeah. Where am I?
Well, I think it's because his ex-wife does not look...
She doesn't show up at all.
She doesn't know. She doesn't. It's the assistant who brings him in. Yeah. You never see his wife.
Yeah.
Ever.
Never.
Nope.
That's Raquel.
That first lady.
That's Raquel.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you never see her. So, yeah, in her, yeah.
Okay, in that case.
That never happens.
No. Or Or even he could just be adopted. Who the fuck?
Are you telling me there's an interracial marriage where neither participant is white?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Okay. I don't believe you.
I don't believe this. Yeah.
Listen, there's valid things to criticize about the film, but don't leap for fucking straws. You know what I'm saying?
Like, There's plenty of other things.
Yeah, there's plenty else to attack.
Yeah. And that's how you know my argument's in good faith, because I think that's a bullshit argument.
Yeah.
And Ares killed all the gods.
Yeah, so why would the gods show up?
Yeah.
Idiot.
Quite silly.
Bigger
Stupid idiot.
I
miss him doing that.
I know.
But I like seeing the obvious parallel paths of Barbara and Diana, where they both realize, the only way to stop the bad effects is to renounce your wish or to destroy the stone. And so they're both just like, well, I'm not gonna fucking renounce my wish.
Barbara's like, no way. I'm not part of that.
I quite liked how Barbara had agency, where it's not the whole Max Lord says, I want to kill Wonder Woman, you want to kill Wonder Woman. Together, she doesn't stand a chance. She has the agency to like seek out Max to protect him. Which I quite liked from a story point of view, because it was like, oh, well, she was there and her motivations make sense for not wanting to let go of this. Whereas I feel in a worse movie, it would have been like the Spider-Man 3 scene. Or every other comic book movie with multiple villains.
Yeah, it was pretty well done.
Yeah.
And it's great because it's not a super immediate team up between them.
Yeah.
She basically just frees him and then she's like, nah, get out of here. And he's just like, hey, security team, she's great, leave her alone. Then he runs away.
And it's later where she meets up with him and is like, hey, are we chill? You good?
So
go on.
So Barbara decides she wants to be an apex predator.
Okay, I want to talk about this.
Okay, yeah, let's go. All right.
And I feel like I would be more accommodating of this if I hadn't seen a much better superhero movie where the villain wants to be an apex predator.
Brightburn, yeah.
What is it?
It's Chronicle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was the big thing. It's like, his supervillain name isn't a supervillain, but he's the apex predator.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And
because I called it, like, when we were watching this scene, she's like, I want to be on top of the food chain. I'm like, I want to be an apex predator. And she said it, and I'm like...
Yeah, you did call that.
Like nothing no one's ever seen.
Yeah.
It's like...
So I think that this is fine. Because people are... This is another bullshit complaint. Like, why does Barbara get 2 wishes?
No, it makes sense.
It's spelled out.
Yeah.
It makes sense. He very clearly uses his power that he's gained to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he literally says, I'm feeling generous.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yes, we know she's made a wish. He's basically saying, next time I get a drawback from someone, I'm giving it to you to benefit you.
Precisely.
I don't know how that translated between the two of them, of her being an apex predator, that she needs to be a cheetah woman.
He just went with the cheetah.
I guess.
Hey, she was wearing cheetah print.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
If you're like, okay, she wants to be an apex predator, top of the food chain, no one's ever seen before. Okay, but
tiger. No.
I can see that she looks cheetah print. I'm make sure I go with that. She likes that already. Maybe I'll go with a lion, because what if she doesn't like lions? That'd be really weird.
I need to rewatch.
You know what I mean?
I need to rewatch the movie.
Like if you looked at me, or looked at you, you're wearing a Bray Wyatt shirt. I want to be so powerful, the strongest thing ever.
You become the Fiend.
I mean, he's the Fiend. He's wearing a Bray Wyatt shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's like, well, I mean,
I think it's just for.
He gets it.
Yeah. I think it's just for both Cheetah and Wonder Woman. I needed like another scene or another line establishing, because they're like final forms.
Hey, Wonder Woman walks up to Diana for the very first time and she's wearing cheetah print heels.
Here's the thing.
Right.
I don't mind. Again, it makes sense why she becomes a cheetah.
Sure.
Is it a little... We have to make her the character from the comics? Sure, it's fine. That's fine. I think she becomes cheetah way too late into the movie.
Yes.
Like, you just get one fight and it's over.
And it's also just... I wanted to see the transformation.
It's true.
Into... Because it literally just goes from her riding in the helicopter with Max Lord to, like, prowling the rooftops as a cheetah person.
Yeah. Like, seeing that transformation could have been cool.
But also... But my bigger complaint... Wonder Woman with the Asteria armor. Like I said at the beginning of this movie... of this talk. Unfortunately for this movie, I watched the first one beforehand, and I distinctly remember crying like a little bitch when Diana is leaving and her mother's like, if you leave, you may never return. It's like, oh, so she can't get back
Yeah.
to Themyscira. And then she gets back to Themyscira and gets
How?
the armor.
No, she doesn't.
How the fuck does she get the armor?
Okay.
It was in the museum.
No, hold up. I got this one. Let me take this. So she says they're in the scene with C. Trevor where C. Trevor's like, what's this?
Yeah.
It's from my culture. And she established that the warrior Asteria stayed behind to fight off the Leagues of Men while the Amazons went to Themyscira.
Yeah, they set up that she's in the world of men and doesn't return to Themyscira. She dies fighting them.
Which is why Asteria's in the end credits scene.
In the world of men.
In the world of men.
Okay.
Yeah, so the armor was just floating around.
And then it's why I'm okay with her just finding it. Because she's been around for 60 years. She's an archaeologist.
It was set up in the opening of the movie, so even though I would have preferred for it to be in the first movie, and they set up why it makes sense.
Okay, that must have been some of the overlap of scenes I missed. Because I guess my mind filled in during the, Asteria, Themyscira, Olympics, Ninja Warrior, that, the statue of Asteria, I thought was the armor.
No, she has a little command center in her apartment.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's also the same when she wraps the rope around Steve Trevor's arm and says, the lasso of truth shows you the truth as well as making you tell the truth. And so she makes Steve Trevor have a flashback to Asteria.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then we get a shot of Linda Carter's eye, and I was like, is that Linda Carter?
Yeah. Yeah, I got spoiled on this.
I didn't.
I way beforehand they were like, Linda Carter's gonna be in it in the post-credit scene. I'm like, okay, I know who Asteria is because I know that's the post-credit scene.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I guessed it when I saw her eye. I'm like, that's kind of an older lady.
Yeah,
that's an interesting choice. Is that Linda Carter?
Yeah, it took 2 movies, but they finally did it.
I'm glad.
It is set up to be in the world of men. So
okay. All right.
Yeah, no, that made perfect sense to me. Okay. I was like, oh, okay, she's got the armor. You set it up. She's gonna use it in the final battle. She's got the eagle wings. It's cool.
Yeah, really good Goldar cosplay.
Very good Goldar cosplay.
I can't say that I love Cheetah's look. they very wisely keep it at night so you don't see it in the daytime.
And to their credit, at least most of the face isn't CG. It's just weird makeup, but
I think that Cheetah looks all right.
Yeah.
Especially after watching Cats 2019.
I really want to...
I think Cheetah looks great.
Oh god, you watched that?
We still need to watch it, Nathan.
But I've seen the trailer.
Wow. Bro, I watched a 1 hour... You saw that? That was the 1 hour video explaining why the music in the movie is way worse than the Broadway show. Oh. And so I saw so much footage from both the stage play and the movie, and I'm like, wow, that's really bad. That's next level, worst of the decade bad.
Remember how it came out in theaters and they were like, don't worry, we're still improving it.
And they released a new version a month later.
Yeah. God.
But anyway, yeah, she looks better than that.
Yeah, so compared to Cats, fantastic. Oscar award-winning effects right there.
I just feel like when I saw the trailer and I saw Cheetah was going to be in it, I thought she was going to be in it more.
Yeah.
And, so we just get kind of a fight. I can't say that I really found this super exciting once the Asteria armor comes off. Or the wings, I should say.
Yeah.
I liked that bit because Wonder Woman had to be way more defensive.
Yeah.
But then they were kind of just swinging around on poles in the lasso, and it was weird.
Well, it was funny to me.
Again, she loves the lasso truth.
It was funny to me because we've established that, okay, Wonder Woman can just Spider-Man swing with the lasso now. Fine, whatever, I accept it. But then Cheetah gets 2 or 3 electric cables that she is able to counter swing. Yeah. And it's how do you...
She's a cheetah.
I mean...
It reminded me of Revenge of the...
Could be Spider.
She's an apex predator.
Yeah, she's an apex predator. She's so fast. It's in her name, Cheetah.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a little Revenge of the Sith with the swinging pole.
A little bit
of that. I got that feeling.
Yeah.
But she takes her under the water and she gets electrocuted.
Sorry.
She takes her under the water and she gets electrocuted.
Hold on. Here's my problem with this scene.
Okay. All right.
So Barbara's like, I want to be like Diana.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the powers and everything. Cool. And you want to see, I want to be like nothing else ever before. Apex predators, how the Fuji, and blah, blah, blah. So now she's even stronger.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is why Diana needs the fucking armor to fight her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because now Cheetah's stronger. How does Cheetah, not in metal armor, get electrocuted while Diana doesn't?
That was weird. I don't know why Wonder Woman wasn't electrocuted.
Yeah.
Well, she got lightninged by electricity doesn't work on her. She got blasted,
but she has the same powers as Diana.
And,
Yeah.
Well,
she should or near to the same abilities.
Cats can't swim.
Okay.
Water is
but it doesn't even like permanently kill her, because as we see in the weird ending of her character, she's just not Cheetah anymore, and but has her clothes.
She has her clothes on.
It's a little unclear as to how
she's not Cheetah. She's not Cheetah because everyone renounces their wishes to the next Lord.
So she's a normal person again, presumably. Unless they do Wonder Woman 3 and she
Sorry.
And we also another mechanic of this ending, Max Lord, while talking to Ronald Reagan, what he gets is the satellites that beam into everyone's TV, and
the particles touch everyone.
The particles, quote unquote, touch everyone, and so he can make wishes with everyone who is attached to TV. My question is, how is he speaking to people who don't speak English?
Everyone speaks English.
I mean, obviously he doesn't need every single person in the world, because not everyone in the world has a TV, as Barbara set up.
Here's what I think.
I'm serious. That's what they set that up.
I'm not. Whoa. I was saying that was funny.
No, I know.
Holy shit. Can I say something? Damn.
19 inches.
Damn.
I would say this is probably, I feel like, Sal's the positive one, but I feel like this is probably our best discussion where Joe and I are kind of the negatives and you're the positive.
There was bits where he's been criticizing things. I was like, I was going to let that go.
That's true.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think this is a fun film, but it's flawed.
Yeah.
When I watch it, I can turn my brain off and go, it's the last true invisible jet.
Yeah.
Grab the bullet,
yeah. Oh, she ride the rocket launch. Woo! It's I have fun here. It's
go on though.
It's not great, but I definitely have a great fucking time when I watch it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, what I was saying was that I think the idea was, he's not speaking in every language, obviously, but since so before he goes on the air, he goes into a PA and says, "I sure hope this works, don't you?"
Right.
I sure wish this works.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
I got you. So he just made it so that it did.
Yeah.
It just works.
It just works. Hey, at least they had that shot of someone saying, "I wish this works."
Yeah.
Again, I'll say that the resolution of Wonder Woman using the lasso to touch everyone, weird, but you set it up.
They set up that the lasso can show you the truth.
Yeah. They did.
And that because now the particle thing makes so you touch everyone, the lasso's touching everybody. Yeah. So it works.
It makes sense.
It took a lot of steps to get there.
I would say that this film's climax isn't really. It's emotionally climactic.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'm happy it's not a big epic fight.
Well, because I was kind of dissatisfied with half of the Cheetah fight. So Max Lord, he kind of just pushes her with the wind. And at first I was like, well, this isn't really exciting, but it's more about the emotions. So I'm kind of glad they didn't do something.
Diana wins in a very Picard way.
Yeah,
it's actually it's a hero actually confronting a villain's worldview.
Yeah,
which is I will beat your ass and then you'll stop.
Yeah, I like that more, honestly. That it's more of like
absolutely.
It's always better to beat someone ideologically than with your fists, because anyone can do that.
Anyone can fucking do that.
So I did like how Wonder Woman in this movie, aside from raping someone, was behaving like a hero.
Yes.
Yeah, aside from the rape, she was great.
Yeah, I agree. And we have the great scene of
boy, she raped somebody, huh?
Yeah,
that's like a fact. It's not even like under question.
Yeah, that's a fact.
People are gonna be scrambling for a defense for that for years.
Yeah. They'll be like, well, it's fine because maybe he wanted it deep down.
I mean, we had a big budget live action Wonder Woman film come out on Christmas where a main plot point she raped somebody.
DC's taking risks, dude. I thought Joker was dark.
The best defense I've seen of it so far is just don't think about it. So
that is the best.
That is not a defense.
Well,
that is
it's a paper shield, but
that's fair.
It's there.
Yeah.
You're overthinking it.
Oh, okay.
I think you're underthinking it.
See, that's my thing, is that I can sit here and admit this film has problems while also saying, but it's a great time.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to say, just don't think about it, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a fucking... Oops, I almost said some words.
Hey, it's okay.
I don't have the tism.
What were you saying then, Nathan?
I was going to say, then we get the great scene where Maxwell Lord is like, oh shit, everything's fucked and my kid's in trouble, so yeah, I renounce my wish. And then he just runs, which was really funny to watch. Diana just like sitting in the corner.
She's just like,
and he just runs off. And he gets back with him and he's like, listen, I'm Alistair! He like runs out into this field and then Alistair like runs out of the woods.
Yeah.
They just reunite. He's like, hey, listen, I'm a shitty person. But I love you and I want you to love me and I'm going to make you proud. And just such a pure and honest line from his son where he's like, you don't need to make me proud. I already love you.
You're my dad.
And it's like,
You just have Alistair with them back to back. So Max Lord gets but presumably everyone renounces their wish, so even Kristen Wiig realizes deep down that she should renounce her wish.
Well, that's the weird thing.
Here's my thing, is like, I get it, like the movie's like, okay, everyone renounces their wish because she shows the truth that all men are created equal and we all should just join in harmony. But then at the end when Kristen Wiig is looking at the hopeful sunrise, she's like, looks all bitter and pissed off, and I'm like, well, did she see the truth and then immediately went back to being bitter because she I don't know.
Well, because I don't know, because do they say that in order to stop the world-ending shit, everyone needs to renounce their wish?
Either Max Lord dies, or everyone renounces their wish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So everyone.
Because I wasn't sure if, like, if one or two people kept their wish, then they would just have their shitty.
So wait a minute.
Monkey's paw.
So if renounce the wish, does that mean the guy the investor guy is now going to be out of prison?
I don't know.
But maybe the guy on the street who was going to harass Kristen Wiig.
Well, it's the 80s. We don't know if the prisons have TVs, so he might have not gotten a chance to renounce his wish.
Oh, God.
There was a reel run later on Channel 7. He got it eventually.
Yeah. No, I had a thought, but but one thing that was interesting to me. One thing that was very interesting to me. And I'm surprised they didn't put this scene in the movie. What year does this take place on?
1984.
What also happens in this continuity in the year 1984? Bruce Wayne's parents get shot. We could have had a scene of Bruce Wayne wishing for Martha and Thomas back, and then he renounces his wish. And it's weird because in the scene where she's confronting Max Lord, it's playing the Batman v Superman theme when they talk about Martha, and I'm like, why are you doing this, Hans Zimmer? This is such a weird choice. And I'm like, you could have done a scene where Bruce Wayne's like, I wish my parents were back, and it's like,
dude.
I'm just saying, it was weird how it lined up, because they make a point.
Instead, we got fucking Themyscira Ninja Warrior.
Yeah. Take that 7 minutes, put it to that. Well, because it's like in Batman Superman, it's like, oh, he was seeing Excalibur in theaters.
Maybe it's because they didn't. Maybe it's
watch our Black Angel video.
maybe it's because you know they were able to get the little girl back as young Diana, but the little boy playing young Bruce was too old.
Yeah, you could have recast.
Get the kid from Joker, whatever.
Get the kid from Joker. Yeah, that would have been such a good troll. It's like, wait a minute. I mean, that would have been very interesting if we had seen maybe a character like that who we knew who had made a wish. But again, I get it. It's fine. Again, it just, the music choice was weird. It was weird that Zimmer brought that theme back into it. It fit, but I was still just like, save Martha. But yeah, that was the main plot, and then we kind of get Diana. Yeah, she encounters the guy again, and they have a bit of a connection.
That's so a reshoot, by the way.
Oh,
that's probably what it is.
It's set during Christmas.
Oh yeah.
And if you go back during the Invisible Jet, it's set on 4th of July.
Oh, that's right.
Somewhere when the film was supposed to come out originally.
And then we get this weird ending where she looks at a balloon that's in the shape of a star as it floats away. And then I literally looked over and went, "When you wish upon a star."
God.
And I was like, well,
I got no strings. Oh, remember we thought that Civil War was going to be a good movie? And then it wasn't.
But yeah, it's kind of a weird like end cap to it.
Someone just listened to this and went, "What the fuck did you just say?"
I hope if Mahler ever watches this.
Listen, Mahler can be wrong. I don't care.
Yes, he can be.
Yeah,
Has been,
especially when it comes to Marvel movies.
Yep. Jesus.
But yeah,
Far From Home was great.
No, God,
no, he doesn't think that, does he? Oof. I stopped watching when he did the debate saying that Spider-Man Homecoming was good.
Yeah.
It has a good scene.
Spider-Man Homecoming is okay. Far From Home is an abomination. I hate it. Anyway, so we get that ending, and then we get the mid-credit scene where there's a light pole that almost hits a baby carriage, and then she catches it and throws it back up. It was so good because it was like, yeah, that's that 70s Wonder Woman right there.
It's incredibly fan servicey. As a fan, I was serviced.
And then the same day they also put up the Linda Carter show.
Yeah,
on HBO Max.
Yeah,
that's good.
The weird thing about this is that this isn't a meaningless cameo. This is very clearly saying, no, this is a story like that we are setting up in this movie to be paid off later. Yeah. You can't tell me that Linda Carter's not in Wonder Woman 3 in a major role, right?
She's going to show up in the Snyder Cut.
Oh my God, yeah.
Everyone is.
She'll be in the Apocalypse Wasteland.
Oh my God, with her armor back.
Yeah.
Unironically, would love that. If I can get Linda Carter in the Asteria armor next to Jared Leto Joker, I'm sold.
Yeah. Hey Zach, I know you finished reshoots, but one more day.
You shoot a little more.
There's a few more months. Are you sweet talking me? And so that was Wonder Woman 1984.
It's a fun time.
You know, there's a line that Maxwell Lord says in this movie where he says, "Life is good, but it could be better." Yeah. And my opinion on this movie is, it was okay. It could be better.
Yeah.
See, it's interesting. Because I would say the first time I watched it, albeit very sauced, I was like, I expected that to be really bad, and it turned out to be okay. Second time I watched it, I think my view of it depreciated, but I think actually this conversation has kind of raised it back up. So I'll give it a with 5 being average. I'd give it like maybe I'd give it a solid 5.
But I will not budge on this. We all agree this is a big step down from the first movie. Okay, because there's people who don't think that, and I'm like, oh.
This is like going from Wonder Woman to like Aquaman.
And here's the thing: is the entire creative team pretty much stayed. You know who didn't stay? The writers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it was funny.
That makes sense.
When I was watching the first movie, and I completely they credit story by Zack Snyder.
Yeah, no,
I'm like, oh shit,
he helped write Wonder Woman. I will give him that.
I completely forgot.
Yeah, it's tonally a very different film. It feels as part of a trilogy, if only because Steve Trevor's in it.
Yeah,
and again, because it's Justice League. Because it's Justice League, I'm like, well, that scene of her getting over Steve Trevor with Batman, would that work post this movie? I don't know. What?
Yeah, well, what? Yeah,
well, but the whole point of this...
Steve Trevor basically says, hey, go smash some other shit. Like, it's okay. I'm fine.
No. I mean in the context of the scene where she gets pissed and, like, pushes him because he mentions Steve Trevor.
That's because Batman's being an asshole.
Well, he is, but like, this whole movie's purpose is so that she gets over it.
Yeah, but like he reopened an old wound.
I get it. I just mean that like it's a little weird, but it's not horrible.
Yeah, I will say like watching that scene in Justice League is way better when you're thinking her last time with him is seeing the plane blow up versus that having happened and then she gets him back and then loses him again.
Well, that's my point. It's like I have to reserve judgment until I get the Snyder cut.
Yeah.
Okay, this is considered the new canonical version of events.
I can't wait for the Snyder cut.
We're gonna do like a huge
The miniseries.
podcast on that.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Fucking 7-8 hour long miniseries of
God, I'm so excited.
where he brings back fucking everyone, even people he didn't work
I'm
with.
so excited.
Where he's like, I'm gonna fix Jared Leto's Joker. And it's like that wasn't even your fault.
Well, because I told you
He
I don't
feels
know,
responsible.
Yeah.
so I don't know if you guys knew this, but do you know what the original ending of Suicide Squad was going to be?
Oh, I feel like you told me this.
So
I forgot.
Steppenwolf was originally supposed to be the bad guy. They were going to set him up for Justice League in Suicide Squad, and that's why there's the weird CGI brother who kind of looks like Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be Steppenwolf working with Enchantress.
Yeah.
And so there was going to be a scene where Jared Leto Joker asked Steppenwolf, well, when Darkseid conquers the planet, are you going to give me a cut of Gotham? They were going to set that shit up, and then in Justice League 2, it was going to pay off.
Wow.
That would have been great.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah, I really hope that David Ayer gets his Suicide Squad cut.
I mean, it would be easier to do because the footage still exists. Like, it's not like Justice League where it's like I had to reshoot most of the movie.
Yeah. I also love when the Snyder cut was like early on, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be Darkseid instead of Steppenwolf," and so people were like, "Oh, I guess Aquaman's out of continuity," and then they show Steppenwolf, and it's like, he's still there, and it's like,
more than true. But yeah, I would say
I'm just pissed at Justice League on the reshoots and redo Amber Heard, but whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, there was probably a contract thing,
and she apparently has an even more prominent role in the second Aquaman than in the first.
I heard though that they're introducing a secondary female lead to maybe if they need to
get
out Amber Heard,
which
the
they do.
Filthy fucking degenerate bitch.
I mean, I'm not seeing it.
Stupid bitch.
I don't want to see it in theaters.
No, I'm not.
I
have HBO Max. I'm gonna torrent it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the right thing to do.
It is. Fuck Amber Heard.
Along with the third Fantastic Beasts movie.
If that ever comes out.
Yeah.
At this point.
And the Stand show.
God.
2 episodes, or maybe 3 episodes.
God. But yeah.
Anyway.
Wonder Woman 1984, I would say it's...
You gave it a 5 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you give it, Joe?
I don't like to rate on a scale.
Well, do it anyway.
But I'd say if I'm rating it within the context of its franchise, I would say it's better. It's better than Batman v Superman.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near as good as the first one.
Yeah.
I would say
it's battling it out with Aquaman for third place. Goes first Wonder Woman, Shazam, Aquaman 84.
Yeah. Something like that.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Because I know Aquaman's not going to be nearly as good when I rewatch it.
No.
But because even when I was watching, I was like, oh, that's the 5th scene where the transition is an explosion, knocks them off their feet, and now there's a set piece happening. It's like, oof. Once you notice that, it's like, oh, okay.
But at the same time, you may call me Ocean Master.
Again, there's good stuff.
Ocean Man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land.
Listen, there's good stuff in that movie, but there's good stuff in this movie.
Bro, when Ocean Man played, I lost my fucking shit.
I mean, it's got Patrick Wilson in it. Any movie that has Patrick Wilson in it has something good in it.
Bro,
because it's Patrick Wilson.
I love James Wan's just fixation on Patrick Wilson.
I can't. Well, I mean,
he can't stop it. Like Insidious, Conjuring, this. Like he just loves him, and I do too.
Yeah.
When are we gonna do the James Wan retrospective?
It'll happen.
Okay. But
we gotta finish.
Well, that's great because that's Saw, Conjuring, Insidious, and Fast and Furious.
That's a very good one.
That's all great.
We gotta get through the Views universe first.
Yeah.
Fuck.
When are you gonna watch Scream 3?
Right now.
Oh, well, man, if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, shit.
But anyway.
I was going to say you want to watch Xena, but it's fine.
No, we gotta wait for that so we can prioritize it. But Wonder Woman 1984, I will say, is, it's a little bit better than people are saying, but also
people are freaking the fuck out over this movie.
I get it. No, believe me, I get it. Like, it's hard. It's hard. Like, from a baseline, the portrayal of most men in the movie and the weird, like, bringing my idealized man into another man's body.
When you make Captain Marvel look tame.
Yeah, this movie is gonna be struggling with that for years. So
yeah, the fact that it went from Wonder Woman did Captain Marvel so much better, and then 84 is like,
yeah, I'd say that plot wise, like plot point wise, there is less. I don't know if I can say, but it feels like there's less overall problems. I just feel like, yeah, that angle is very, very controversial, and I don't know why they did it this way.
Yeah,
Shapes a guy.
Yeah, it makes it. I do want to rewatch this. I don't think this one's going to be like deep in circulation like the first Wonder Woman is.
No.
Patty Jenkins is still a good director, even though I didn't like a lot of the writing in this. The directing was pretty good. So
yeah, I agree with that.
Cinematography still solid, editing.
Yeah,
except for that Star Wars movie.
Rogue Squadron's finally happening.
We get really fucking being about pilots.
It's a very specific thing.
I hope it's good. I know it's coming out from more of the Kathleen Kennedy camp than from the Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni.
We're not going to talk about Star Wars.
Both camps suck, anyway.
They do, for different reasons.
Listen to our Mandalorian podcast.
It's very good.
It's very good.
And listen to...
That's right.
Yeah, listen to our many other podcasts on the Shuttlecast, which you can find...
on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
Like 5 other ones.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Thanks to Anchor FM.
We already did that.
Well, I'm going to add again.
No, we didn't get paid for that one, though.
I don't care. That's how much I support the product.
That's crazy.
It's that again, that bit in the first Wonder Woman movie when they're like basically done with the mission, and it's like, there's not any more money. It's like, we've been paid enough.
Well, I've been Sal.
I've been Josiah.
I've been Nathan.
Thanks for listening to the Shuttlecast.
That's right. Get used to it.